Steve here with Alloyed RPG. Today is April 15th, and this is one of my favorite days of the year. Why? Because I'm headed to Greenville for the South Carolina Comicon. Got the Z3 all ready to go. It is a beautiful day. I'm going to go there, hang out almost all day, pitch Alloyed RPG to some new folks, and just have a great time. So yeah, see you there. Like and subscribe. So I am here about a half an hour before the doors open, and you can see it is already packed. We'll walk up to the front, but I am sure that I will be waiting in a very long line. So the line is finally starting to move. I've been sitting here for about 40 minutes, and I came from back there. It wraps all the way around. I'm going to be walking this way, hanging a left, and then it's going to snake around back again to the right, and then probably in about a half an hour I'll get into the actual expo center. So yeah, thousands of people here today. All right, so finally making our way to the front of the line. The line, we're told, actually wraps around and goes outside all the way over there. Crazy. Crazy awesome. All right, and in the door we go. So, welcome to SC Comicon 2023. This is the floor, and I will show you around in just a second. I am going to find an artist friend of mine first, and then I will take you on a tour of the Comic-Con floor. Here's one of my favorite areas. This is what's called Artist Alley, usually. And this is where different independent artists set up their booths, and they usually have a lot of original artwork. I commission a lot of artwork for various sci-fi projects and even for Alloyed RPG. So this is oftentimes where I'll find somebody. I just am able to look at their style, get to talk to them and see how they are, you know, working with clients and things like that. So Artist Alley, that's pretty cool. That's always my favorite part on any kind of Comic-Con. What always amazes me is how different the artists' styles are. So like here you've got a guy that does sort of some really high fantasy art to light cartoon art to just different, you know, smaller cartoonish kind of stuff. And it really just depends on what your style is, you know. So there's always something here to represent whatever you're into. So obviously Comic-Con started with comics, and so there's a heavy representation of comics for sure. There's all things sci-fi as you go through, all kinds of little, I guess, collectibles and pins and t-shirts and yeah, you name it, it's here. So yeah, this is kind of, again, the nerd paradise. So one of my favorite booths is right here. Got a bunch of different cool, funny t-shirts. If you're into this culture, people who aren't into it typically don't understand the humor, but those of us who are get it right away. Of course, every Comic-Con needs people dressed up as cool stuff, so there's always a bunch of costumes, and they're always happy to take photos with people. Pretty cool place, really. So just to give you a scope of this convention, and this is one of the smaller ones, I'll just kind of raise up here, and you can see how far back that goes. Kind of crazy. And it is packed, and it will be packed like this pretty much all weekend long. If you want to buy a suit of armor, you can buy a suit of armor. One of my favorite booths at the con. These are retro shirts that are super cool. These guys have been here. How many years have you been here now? 7 or 8 now. 7 or 8. Very cool. Always have cool stuff. If you need to buy some rubber swords for all of your rubber sword needs, here you go. So circling back to the area where they go for signatures and stuff, now some of those actors and stuff are at their booths, and you can see that this section, which was pretty sparse in the beginning of the day, now has some pretty long lines waiting for people to get some signatures. Now, a lot of these artists may not be well known to some people, but to others, they're very well known, and they've done some pretty major comic series, so pretty good stuff. And hey, where else can you get away with wearing a yellow princess dress, right? And you really have to keep looking at each of the booths because a lot of people are sort of tucked away into corners. Like this guy back here, I ended up buying a book of his. He does a lot of really cool campaign settings that we're probably going to use for Alloyed RPG. So just really neat art, but again, sort of tucked away back in the corners. So all these nooks and crannies have some pretty cool things going on. Legos are also a huge thing here. They've got booths with all kinds of Legos. I guess that's a whole world I have no idea about, but they've got some pretty rare and unusual ones. So I have now been wandering the Comic-Con for about an hour and a half, and this is the line that's still waiting to get into the show. So very cool. Again, this will go all day like this. Probably one of the biggest lines you'll ever see in Greenville. And it just keeps going and going and going. So, yep, thousands of people. So, yeah, for those who are, again, not really into it and don't quite understand, just know there are a lot of us out there. Pretty cool. Well, that's it for me here at South Carolina Comic-Con. Thanks again for watching, and may your dice always roll with advantage.